Hello, everyone. Michelle, Yvette, Nicole, Max, and Kiara.
Hi.
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 Hello. Everything, is everyone, it's fine? Any questions first? Do you have any question for me while you were doing the homework or discussion board? Any question? Okay, you can also share the page you were, and we can go over with your data. That will be the best solution for you. If not,
I have a question. It's not
sure.
with the homework. It's just for the midterm next week. So
Yeah,
when we're
midterm
using
next week. That's right. Uh-huh. Okay.
so when we're doing the midterm, we're able to bring a paper that has like the formulas and the calculator, or like what could be on the sheet of paper that we can bring.
Okay. I will post that to send it to all. But I can tell you now, you can put one page, one page of the notes, just like a regular paper size, right? Like a regular paper size. Oh, couldn't show my paper. It I said regular paper size. Okay. And you can put the formula or steps of the calculator that they couldn't remember. And reminder note, that's fine. But not the copy the solution from the whole things here. That's just one page of the notes. Then you can prepare your calculator, right? If you have a TI 83, 84, that's the best. If you still don't get one yet, at least a scientific calculator to check your computations, okay? Number three, some people always ask me, may I have one page of the blank paper for Scratch? Yeah, okay, you can. So that's 2 pages already. Then um, someone said, always ask me, may I use the G-score table? I will say yes. If you want to check with the G-score table, you can have that a copy of the G-score table. But G-score table, there's a positive G-score and negative G-score. You have to make it just one sheet of the paper, okay? Front and back. One side for positive score, the other side for negative score. G-score table is look like this. Like this, okay? This is a negative G-score table. And the other side, you can put the positive G-score table. Like this, right? Positive G-score table. And all this statistic table, the link of the statistic table I already posted at announcement. So if you cannot open it, because sometimes past certain time, the link, they just invalid. Then I need to post again. So you need to try to see, can you open it? And so G-score table and scratch paper and one page for formulas, okay? Then calculator for both things. Yeah, so that's what you need, okay? And we use a responders, and responders will shut down your website. So that's why I call lockdown browser, okay? And you need to download that the responders app. And that's why at the beginning of the semester, I asked everybody try to download that one and apply to your student learning contract. That one is only 10 points, right? So you can use that one as an experiment to see, does it work with your laptop or your computer? That's why I was asking everyone, you need to do it, okay, student learning contract. And because we are going to use the same app, responders, to do the midterm exam and final exam. And the browser will be locked, so you cannot go any other website. That's why if you need a table, if you need, I think just a table you will need, okay? You can print out a hard copy to help you, okay? So you're supposed to have maximum 3 pages of the paper on your desk, okay? And what else? Yeah, I think that's it for the midterm exam. Midterm exam, we just need the one table, the G-score table for the normal probability distribution. That's where the chapter 6, okay, chapter 6, chapter 7, we will use that. And the others we don't need, okay, so far. And when we get into the next chapter, you will need the T-score table, or if you use a TI-84 calculator, you don't need any table of this, okay? You can just use your calculator to find out the probability or to find out the critical value, okay? TI-83, one function is not working, is T-score. When you try to find out the T-score, it doesn't allow it. But TI-84, it on this function. So that's why TI-84 is better than TI-83. TI-84 is a newer version. So if you know how to use your TI-84, you don't need any of these tables, okay? You don't need this one either, okay? And later, when we go to the chapter, especially chapter 12, linear regression and correlation, we need to use the TI calculator to help us to find out so many things. Slope, y-intercept, and equation of the regression line. Okay, the TI-84 can do for you all this. You can get answer instantly. So if you still don't have a TI-84, you better to find the one. Check everywhere. Go to the multimedia and go to your Facebook or Twitter or any other media there that you know some friend, check with a friend, check with relatives. Anyone got a TI-84 sitting in their drawer there, you can borrow. Okay, borrow is the best. You don't need to spend any money. Second, you can rent one. Okay, the website also renting this. And renting, I think they charge the rental per month by some dollar. Okay, I don't remember how much it is now. But you can check the website. Just type in TI-84 rental and it will pop out a lot. Okay, and there's, or you can buy a used one. Go to the eBay or some discount the website there and type in TI-84 used calculator. We pop out a lot of people are selling, right? A lot of students that they use this and they already got their degree. They don't need the math anymore. Usually they will sell on the website with a discounted price, okay? But if you say, I'd like to have a new one and my birthday is coming, you may ask, instead of receiving those gifts there, you just say, can you put the money together just buy a TI-84 for me? That would be more useful for you, okay? Because you can keep it as your handy technology, not only for this class, for the future your other classes, okay? If you if you need to move on to any other your major class and they're involving with some statistic or some algebra, okay, or calculus, right, higher level math, you will always need it, okay. And after you graduate, when you go to the work, a calculator that can do so many functions for us will be a very good tool to help you as well, okay. So you have option to decide, but better decide soon, because the sooner you get, you can start practicing. And I put a lot of videos on the discussion board there for you to learn how to use your TI-84 calculator, okay? So, it's really saving a lot of time, okay? Before, I would say 15, 20, 30 years ago, when I started teaching statistics, students suffered with the computation on the paper, okay? And after a class, I check the whole class, usually only two or sometimes only one person got right. The rest because of computation error. When we come to the chapter 12, you will see if no technology is just allow the computation there. Even now in our chapter 2, right, that will be in a midterm exam, we computing standard deviation. Standard deviation, you need to find out the X bar first, the mean. Then you have to take each data minus mean to find the deviation. And you need to take each deviation, go to square, add up, and divide by sample size -1 for sample standard deviation. And then you still have to remember, take a square root of that back, right? Just allow the computation. Very easy to make a mistake as well, okay? But if you have a TI 84, you just learn what's the command number you have to hit. And I allow you to put that the command name on your sheet of paper, right? If I'm looking for mean, I hit this. If I'm looking for standard deviation, I hit what? You can take a note on that, okay? Because that's just called the formula out to compute for you. So why not? Our statistical class is not testing your computation skill. It's not the arithmetic class. It's more like testing your concept. So you use all the technology is allowed, okay? And since we are online class, and our website is shut down during the exam for integrity here, required by math department. So the handy one is your calculator, really, a piece of the calculator that will help you to solve it out because all the formulas are inside the TI-84, okay? What do we need for this class? All the formulas inside, except except something very simple, right? Like the formula for the binomial probability. That's a very simple one. Just mean equal n times the p. Nobody will set up here, okay? And you can easily remember. So that's why the other formula, the complicated formula, are all set up inside the calculator. And some people always ask me, can I use the TI-83? Yeah, you can do. But when we come to the chapter 11, chapter 12, no, chapter 12 is okay. Chapter 11, there's one function is not there in your TI-83, okay? And in chapter 2, there's no inverse for the T distribution. No, maybe not chapter 2. When you come to chapter 8, you will need it. So for this midterm, actually, if someone still got some TI-83, you still can use it, no problem. Okay? But if you could find a TI-84, it's really very convenient and very good tool to help you through this statistical class. Okay? And TI-84, the good things you have plug here, you can plug it into the computer, okay? And when you plug into the computer, in the future, if you need to do some project, we can project in the graph onto your paper, okay, onto the computer. So with the your Word document, put the Word document, it can print out your graph. You will produce a nice report, okay. TI-84 is the improved one. And I would say you don't need to buy really a new one, right? Unless you are going to receive some gift. Or just if you could find a used one, it's good enough, okay? And I believe some people, after they took the statistic, they may just sell it. Because usually people finish a statistic, they don't need the math anymore, most of the students. then you can sell, get your money, some money back, right? Okay, so that's about the midterm exam. And any other question you have about the midterm?
Um, I have another question about the midterm. So when it comes to the actual doing it, we just got 2 hours. Like, does it shut you off the system after 2 hours, or does like we just gotta track the time ourselves, or like
Yeah,
you know what
you
I'm trying
have
to
to track it yourself.
say?
When you
Okay,
log in 6 o'clock, it will shut down for you by 8 o'clock. The exam, 2 hours. So you have
okay,
to set up your alarm or something. Look at, okay. And the 2 hours more than enough because usually every semester I look at the statistic of the student who did, right? Because the system will show me how many minutes the student finished the test and each person. So in average, usually people need only 1 hour, okay, 60 minutes finish all. But I just make a double time for in case you need more time for reading or double check or something. Most students finish in 60 minutes. Okay.
okay. And then is it graded right there on the spot, or do we have to wait for it to be
Yes.
graded?
When you
Okay.
finish, when you hit the submit, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
see your score already. That's the
Okay.
good thing. The feedback right away. Okay. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah. Any other question you have about the midterm? And how we prepare the midterm, I would say try to finish all your homework and take the test one, test two, right? Because that give you some practice. And also I think it's good to set up some timing for yourself. Even we don't time test one, test two on at home, that one we don't restrict the timing, right? But it's better you need to check yourself. Don't take too long to finish one test of the 15 questions, right? Usually, I think it's a 15 question for you. And just like our midterm exams, only 15 questions. Okay. But don't take too long. Don't take more than 2 hours, right? If you could have finished in 2 hours for your online test, that means your speed is still okay. It's good. Okay. And because exam time is automatically that the responders will just shut down after 2 hours. Okay. So from the 6 a.m. in the morning, because some people, they told me they needed to go to work 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. They want to start early. And because some people, they work late until 10 p.m. Then you can start early, like 6 a.m. Okay. So some people say, I have babies. I need to take my test after my children went to bed. That's good idea too after that. So if you need to take an evening later than the 7 p.m., you can email me so I can extend the time for you to do after 7 p.m. Because right now, what I set up, the latest to start your exam is 7 p.m. Okay, on October 17th. So if you need later, that's mean, for example, you say my kids will sleep by 8 p.m. So you can start at 8:30 or 9 if you prefer. Then you just need to email me. I can extend the finish time longer for you. I mean, extend the deadline to 2 hours later for you. Okay. Who start at 8 will finish by 10. That's what I can help. Who start at 9, you can finish by 11. Okay. But we need to finish that day. Don't extend it to the next day. Because for fairness, right? Our deadline is October 17th. Everybody should have finished October 17th. Okay? Yeah, October 17th. I try to check the calendar. Okay, so try to finish your test one, test two. Most of you already finished test one. That's good. Just need to take your test two to get some experience. And because test two covers chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, only 4 chapters. Okay. And chapter 7 is not included. That's why you still need to finish your homework of the chapter 7. Okay. And because if you know how to do chapter 6, you can do chapter 7 because they are related. Some book, they put it together as one chapter. But the online book we adopted, this free book, they put it separate into the 2 different chapters. And it's just one theorem you needed to learn from chapter 7. But the way to handle, how to find the probability, is the same as chapter 6. Okay. That's why I didn't put the chapter 7 into the test 2. But you can practice with your homework, it's good enough. Okay. Then I will post our midterm review practice problem as well. And I will post that one by this week, Friday, this weekend. Okay. Friday, because I hope everybody try to finish your work, at least finish your chapter 4, chapter 5, at least finish up to chapter 5, chapter 5. You could finish until chapter 6, even better. So next week, you can continue chapter 7 and take your test 2. And then practice the review problems. Okay. And review problems will help you to see some similar questions I will ask in the exam. Because exam, I make 15 questions only. And sometimes one question can cover 2 or 3 questions from our homework exercise. Homework is exercised by section, right, by chapter. And our online test is also by chapter, by section. So now, sometimes I need to combine something together as one question. So if you practice with a midterm review, that will give you a good practice. Okay. Another one will be available starting Friday. I will post Friday. So for some people who already finished the work sooner, you can start working on the midterm review this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and next Wednesday, when you come to here, if you have questions, you can bring those questions from the midterm review to ask me as well, right? So next Wednesday, we'll kind of focus on your midterm review and chapter 7 question, just one theory. But sometimes some people couldn't do well with this chapter 7 because computation problem. But again, you know how to use your TI calculator. Calculator handle the theorem very nicely, okay, without any suffering to compute a lot of decimal, because chapter 7, you may come out a lot of decimal digits, and that's sometimes affecting affecting the accuracy of the final answer, because if you cut off some decimal, maybe your answer is wrong, okay? It will be off from the correct answer key. So next Wednesday, we'll focus on chapter 7 and midterm review problems questions. And I hope you can bring questions for me next time, okay? Next Wednesday, we can share the screen to do however you like. So after you ask a question on next Wednesday, you still have Thursday to review. And Friday is the deadline to take your midterm exam. Okay. So any other question you have? And the problem will be very similar.
No, thank you.
Very similar to your midterm review, or similar to your homework exercise, or your test 1, test 2 questions. Because, you know, test 1, test 2, they are coming from the homework test bank. Actually, this test bank is 1,000 or 2,000 of the questions problem there. And then homework is selected from there. Then test 1 is selected, combine 2 chapters as one, or 3 chapters as one, or 4 chapters as one test. So they are all related. Okay.
I have a question. Are you gonna have any multiple choice?
Yes.
Because I know some of the homework does have multiple choices.
Exactly, yes. You will have multiple choice or the fill the blank, just like your homework exercise or your test 1 questions, test 2 questions. Mixed of the 2 kinds. Multiple choice or fill in blank.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And you will do fine after you finish your homework and finish your test 2 and practice with the midterm review questions. Usually, most people did very well for the midterm. Yeah. A lot of people will get 100% correct. But if you didn't study, that's a different story, right? And practice is so important. Okay. I can see some people didn't do the homework, didn't take the test, didn't participate discussion to learn those problems I put on the discussion there. The one I set up as activity questions, because that's some problem more important. And that's usually I will select, put it on the exam time. So you need to practice that and understand how to do it. If you didn't do right, you can check some people else there, right? And some people, they did a good job. And you can see, you can look at other people's work as well. And I will go there to make a comment because when I always check your work there. If you did all correct, sometimes I just skip and go on to find someone who made a mistake. So someone made a mistake, I will point out, oh, you forgot this. Oh, the problem asks you 3 decimal, you only give 1 decimal or something. I will give the comments there. So that's the where to discover the common mistake people made. And it can be your mistake too. So it's good to alert yourself, avoiding this kind of mistake people made first there. So participation in the discussion board is important too. Okay, so another way of the learning. And their discussion board, I always check your work. Okay, someone made a mistake, I will not leave there, and because you will learn from the mistake, that's no good. So I always check the work, even I didn't put anything there because that was correct. Okay, and some mistake I always point out. So to study for the midterm, just try to complete our assignment by that time, by Friday. You should do very well. Okay, from my experience, most people did very well. Okay, so maybe if you don't have question anymore, I put something in the whiteboard I can share with you. And if you think this question you know how to do, then we can skip and go to take care of some other questions. Okay. So let me open my whiteboard and sharing with you. So I'll share my whiteboard. Share. So I already prepared this, and this is for you from our. This is from our discussions. Oh, no, how come? Change my. Actually, this one could go up more. Okay. Number one, you can see for people who already did your discussions for the week 7, I have activity question number 1. Oh, number 1, number 2, I put as an example for you, I believe. I think that's the example. Then activity question starting here, right? Activity question, chapter 6, activity questions. That's our activity question for this week, week 7. And I want to show you how you do standard normal distribution. That's chapter 6. And I make up the 3 problem here. And to answer these 3, traditionally, back to 20 years ago, we have to use a G-score table. But about 10 years, 15 years ago, we don't need it anymore because TI-83 came to the world. And we could just use the TI-83 to answer this. But now we have even better calculator came out, right? About I think about 10 years ago, but they modified this civil edition. There's now they call this the newest one is about 5 years in the market now. TI-84 plus CE, that's the newest one. Okay, so you can just use a calculator to answer this question without a look at the table. That's I want to share with you this, okay, and show you how to use technology. And also, there's one activity question, 2, that one, yeah, you can use the TI-83 or 84 and round off your answer to 4 decimal places. So you need to pay attention to round off decimal required by the problem. Because sometimes I found that people knows how to get the answer, but when you're rounding off the decimal, it did not follow the instructions. And our online exam, you know that it's the answer key is pre-programmed, sending to the programmer to do it, right? The webmaster, they make a program and set in the answer key, and they just pre-programmed. So if the instruction say 4 decimal, they just reserve 4 spaces only. So we set up 4 spaces for you to put the 4 decimal. So if some student put only 2 decimal, the computer answer key we think this is wrong because it is required 4 space here, but only fill in the 2 only. So you will get it wrong. Okay. So that's why during the exam you have to be careful. Any place say 1 decimal, 2 decimal, 3 decimal, you need to follow instruction. And usually during the exam time, I always pay attention to that. I will make sure to check each question will give you the instruction, how many decimal you have to round off, okay? So remember to follow instructions. So maybe we can start from the question 1 I prepared here. The question 1 is an empirical rule application, okay? In the past, I found some people confused empirical rule. Let me write out. Empirical rule is the same, the context is the same as in the chapter 6 there. I think same as the G-score there. Empirical rule is the original way, I mean, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, statisticians started with this rule first. Try to estimate how many percent of the data within certain data value. For example, for example, you can look at the example here. Question 1. I here said the graph, so maybe I should have put that graph here for you. But if I make this, can I make a graph? I don't think so. So, empirical rule application. Let me type more. You have to remember 3 things, okay? So, if you are still working on the chapter 4, you need to accelerate, okay? Move on to the chapter 5, chapter 6 here. Empirical rule is talking about the 3 numbers, okay? First number is 68. Second number is 95. Third number is 99.7. These 3 numbers you have to remember. Again, if you couldn't memorize, it's a exam time, I usually got a panic and I cannot remember everything. Then you put on the page of the notes there, okay? Empirical rule is related to these three numbers. And these three numbers are presented by percent, okay? So what's the mean, these three numbers here? I'm going to draw the graph to show you. So let me move this one down, okay? Then I'm going to draw the graph and could look very ugly because I'm using the mouse to make the drawing, okay? I'm just using this one, the mouse of my computer. So okay, empirical rule only apply to our data distributed like a bell-shaped. Okay, you can see like a bell. Okay, it should look like a bell-shaped. Let me see, can I go back? No. Oh, no. Okay, you can see the graph I did here. It's looking like the bell-shaped. Every time when I go to the Taco Bell to buy burritos, I like burritos actually. And you can, when I look at the symbol, I always think of our normal distribution, okay? It looks like a bell-shaped. Bell-shaped. Okay, I'm using the mouse to write, so look very ugly. Then, but you know, this is the one in chapter 6 we call normal distribution. Normal distribution. Okay, I will stop here. And empirical rule says if you have data distributed, look at the bell shape, okay? Or later we call normal distribution. In the middle, here is always a top peak here is always a location for the mean. You know the mean, right? The average. And standard deviation, and we can divide like a 1, 2, 3 subinterval. And that means this position, you are going to take the mean plus, okay, you will add one more standard deviation up to here. If the average score of the exam, for example, exam is 80, 70, let's put the mean is 70, okay. If mean is 70, then the next score here will be 80. So I assume the mean score of the exam is 70. And the standard deviation, as we already did the average deviation from each data to the mean, I assume is 10 points. So the next one here should be 80, 10 more, okay? And next one here will be 90. Okay, 10 more, 18 to the 80 is 90. And the last one, this one here, will be the 100, right? When you're adding 10 more each time, this position here, we're presenting the 100 point. And left-hand side, same thing. 1, 2, 3. So to the left-hand side, we present the score lower than the mean. So this position should be 70. When you take 80 minus 10, that's a 70 point. When you subtract the 10 point, will be 60, right? And when you subtract less 10 again, will be 50. All right? So I just give the example, because example is easier to understand. If I just write the mean plus standard deviation 1 or 2 or 3, sometimes I got confused. So the empirical rule says within 1 standard deviation, okay? Within 1 standard deviation means the score, exam score, people got 80, or who got a 10 point less, 70, that's 10 point, within 1 standard deviation. So if people got the score within 1 standard deviation between 70 and 80 here, according empirical rule, we have 68% of the data should be here. That means 68% of the students should get the score between 1 standard deviation plus or minus from the mean. An example is like a 70, 80. We have 68%. Then if we say, let's expand more to the 2 standard deviation. That means ending with a 90, right? And starting with a 60. So between 60 and 90 here, we have 95% of the student got this, okay? We should have more, right? It's cover more score here. So that will be the second number, 95%. And this color here is presenting 95%. The area. When I say percent, it's the area under, not the bell curve. Okay. And if you extend more, okay, we said let's extend more. Let's go to the end here. Someone who got the 50 only, and including us who got a 100. So of course we cover more students, right? From 50 to 100. That's according to the empirical rule, we should have 99.7% of the student. Their score should be within 50 point to 100 point. Okay. And remember, this number is 0.7, okay? On the exam, when I give the multiple choice, I often find that some people will pick up the 99.5. No, it's 0.7, okay? So that's the empirical rule. That's why this question here is asking you what is the approximate percentage of the student who scored lower than the 46 on the test. So according to this exam, this problem here, it's based on the college algebra student, okay, college algebra. And mean is 70, okay, you just have to follow that. But of course, if it follows the idea I explained to you here, you need to find out, set up the phase and mean score. So for the algebra, this question, maybe I need to draw another one. For this one, I will draw another normal curve. Okay. And set up the mean. The mean is 70, right? Mean score is also 70. But this time, standard deviation is lower. That means the student score is more consistently. The standard deviation is smaller, means everyone's score is more close to each other, okay? When standard deviation is large, that means some people got 100 and some people got 60, 50. There's more deviation happen. So for the activity question, no, this is the example of the activity questionnaire. You can just set up here mean 110, okay, and go to right. I'm sorry. How can I put 110? You should have put the 70, right? The mean is 70. So if you follow the example I made up there earlier, and just put the 1, 2, 3, okay, to the right, like that. So then you can see the standard deviation this time is changed. It's 70, is 8 point. So go to the right, the next score should be 78, okay? That's how you set up. And next score should be 8 point more, then you just add up 8 point more, okay? And going up like that. And on the left-hand side, you subtract 8, right? So the left-hand side first one is 62. So you minus 8. And then you minus 8 again, and then you become 54. 54. Then one more, subtract 8. That's you come out of 46. So this question is asking you, how many percent of the students who scored lower than the 46? So you just draw a line here, okay, to divide in the area. It's about here, right? 46. So it's asking you this area here. When you come to the chapter 6, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, you always use the area to count the probability, okay? Chapter 4, chapter 5 is descriptive data, right? And that's why you only point by point find out the probability. But chapter 5, 6, 7, you need to count the area to find out the probability. So we are looking for this low part here, okay? And to the end of the curve. So to the end of the curve, you say, how can I find out this area here? That's why I put as an example here to help everybody. We have to understand mean is here. And 1, 2, 3. 46 is related to the 3 standard deviation, okay? So to find the area, go to the left-hand side end, in the ending area here. How can I find this piece? You can use our empirical rule, the total, okay, I think I better use the test. So total is 100%, okay? We always take a total area under the curve as 100%. So 100% divide 100% is 100 divided by 100, which is 1. Okay. So when you do the calculation, you may start 100 and minus 99.7 because when the data related to 3 standard deviation, you have to use a certain number, 99.7. And that's we give you the remaining area to the go to the tail. So it's kind of you are going to have this. You are kind of have remaining area. Right end and the left end. Okay, we have 2 ends here. So you subtract out, right? You subtract out. Well, this can only use once. Subtract 100 minus 99.7. That's come out at 0.3. Okay, I show you the work there already. 0.3. So 0.3 is the area here. Okay, the right end and the left end are the red color. But we are looking for the percentage lower than the 46. That means go to the left end we need only. So you have to take the 0.3 and divide by 2 because we only want the left hand side only. So the answer will be 0.15. Then at the end, when you finish, 8% symbol. Okay. So that's why the ending area, this is small red color, is 0.15%. That means very little, very few percent. Some students will get lower than the 46. Okay. Very few. Okay. Almost zero there. So that's the empirical rule application. I hope you read my example. I already put the solution there on the discussion board. So look at that. That will help you to answer the question of the empirical rule. And before you go, I want to show you how you answer the activity question number 1, that you can use the TI-84, okay, or TI-83. Up to here, you still can use the TI-83, no problem. So let's move this one up. Oh, no. I need to put it back and move the screen up. And now I need the room to show something. So I'm going to erase this empirical rule thing. Okay. And to learn TI-8384 is very simple and easy. Okay. You just need to know the command. And I also post the video on the discussion board so you can also watch the video. Anyway, since we are all here, I can just show you how to do it. Okay. So I'm going to use tips because the writing is easier. So first, if you have TI 8384, you can grab your calculator, okay, and press the key second vars. That's what you need to do. Second, VARS. That's a command that you have to do. The second is you try to find the key in the blue color, and TI 83 maybe in yellow color, okay, another color, second function. And looking for VARS, you need to type that one first. So it will pop out the screen. Then you are looking for number 2, okay? Number 2 will give you normal CDF. That's the function you need to use, okay? Then after you find the number 2, normal CDF, hit the enter. And when you hit the enter, you will see the screen will pop out. What is the lower, your lower bound, okay? That means the lowest value, because we are looking for area, okay? Even the calculator technology, they also use the idea looking for the area. So look at the first problem. A is looking for G-score less than 2.12. So the probability that will give you the G-score smaller than 2.12, the area will go to the left-hand side, okay? And according to algebra knowledge we have, that's going to negative infinity, right? Smaller than 2.12. Your 2.12 is somewhere on the right. It extending to the end, okay? So the lower end will be negative infinity. And how can you show negative infinity? You have to type in negative. And be careful to type in your calculator. You have to choose the one minus sign inside the parenthesis. That's the common mistake in the class. Some people just put the subtraction symbol. No, you have to use the one inside the parenthesis, okay? That's the lower bound. And upper bound, you need to type in. And sometimes calculator will pop out or put a negative. And if you type in negative sign under parenthesis here, you can use 9999. Just type 4, the 9 will do it, okay? Or some calculator will give you automatically minus sign, -1, and then put the E go to the 99 power, okay? So if your calculator already pop out the -1, E99, just tick it, okay? And if your calculator didn't pop out anything, you can type in negative sign inside parenthesis and with 9 for the 9. And upper bound up to 2.12. So just type it in 2.12. And then you can see on the website that will confirm, or the calculator screen will confirm mu is 0, okay? Because G-score is based on mean score as 0, and the standard deviation as 1. So you can see standard deviation, they already pop a 1 there, and you just paste and hit the enter, okay? You just hit the enter. And you should get the answer already, okay? I'm going to type in 2.12 and go down, paste, enter. And you will come out the normal CDF and all the data you put in there confirmed. Then hit the enter, we give the solution right away as 0.98299, okay? Since we need a 4 decimal, so I always will go to the 5 decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the fifth one is 9. So you can drop this one, but you can round up as 1 unit, 8 into the 9, the left-hand side 9. So left-hand side now will become 10. So as 10, you will write as 0, right? And 8 into the next one on the left. So your answer will become 0.8. 0, 9, oh no, I typed wrong. 0.9830, okay, as your final answer. If the problem say you need to give the full decimal, that's the right answer to go, okay. So for the B, you will type in the other way. This one is the instruction for activity question A. You do this, A. I can squeeze it in here, no? Okay. This is for the instruction of the A. And for the instruction of the B, I will do same thing, right? Second variable, all this one is the same. We just need to change some data here. So I will copy and put it here. Then I change the data. So now it's doing the greater than. So greater than, your low bound, the smallest the number is 1.25. So you need to change to 1.25 on your calculator. Then upper bound will be, go to the right. Greater than that number, go to the positive infinity. So you can type in 9999. 4 of the 9 will do it. Okay. And okay. So you will change it to 1.25 and to 9999. And mean is still 0. Standard deviation still 1. Then you hit the enter. You should get the answer of 10. The solution right away. Okay. So you will do same thing. Second bounce, not option 2, and change the lower bound is 1.25. Upper bound is 9999. And paste and enter. Your final answer should come out 0.1056 when I round it to 4 decimal. Okay. You will obtain this probability as this number. Just one more, because I'd like to show you all the 3. Okay. One more is this, one more, maybe can I set up here? One more C. You will do the same thing again. Second bounce, normal CDF, but okay. Control C, copy here. Copy. Oh, they go to the other side. So the C, okay, copy again. Didn't allow me. So this is the B. They only show the B. I think I need to go down, otherwise it doesn't show here. So I have to go down and show you the C here. C is easier, okay? C, your low bound, you will type in just 1.25. And your upper bound, you type in the ending number 1.212. And the rest is the same, just paste and enter. Right? Hit enter, and you should get the answer already. Okay. So same thing, what you will do, second bounce, option 2, enter, and 1.25 as low bound, upper bound 2.12, and go down paste. You should get the answer right away after 0.0886. Okay. Oh, 1 0 is missing. 0.0886. Okay, that's the final answer you will get for the item C. Okay. So because I want to show you how you use the technology. Okay, when you use the technology, it's much simple and easy. All right. So then you need a practice, right? You can do the number 2 activity. Use a graphing calculator to do it. TID 384. Okay. So I hope you try to finish all the homework by this weekend. At least finish chapter 5 or 6. Okay, I was at least 6 up to the 6 here, and so next week we can work together, take care of the chapter 7 midterm review, and any questions from your test 2. If you have done a test 2, discover any question, we can go over as well. Okay, so good luck next week. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so see you next time. I think we finish here. Okay, so try to make this one be able to pop out on the video. And okay, maybe make it smaller. No. Okay. All right. Now we can see all, right? And change this one. Cannot move. Okay, so see you next week. And good luck on the exam, right?
Thank you.
And try to bring all the questions for me next time. Next Wednesday will be a meeting before the exam, right? So important. And that's why you can, this weekend, you may want to start your midterm review. Okay. So if you discover something, you can bring to ask me. Okay. So study harder. Exam is coming, right? And see you next week.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night. You're welcome. Bye-bye, everybody. Let me see. Everybody's here. Stephanie's here. Oh, Stephanie, did you join us late? I don't think I got your name. Okay. All right. So, bye-bye, everybody.
I don't think you got me. I don't think so.
No, I took a picture. I
Okay.
used my iPhone, took a picture of the name displayed here. So, you are the second one. You should be cut already. Only the Stephanie look like she joined later. Okay. So you are okay. Don't worry.